amazing family. This is Hadija from the Parenting Mindset Shift, a place for parents to bring clarity, confidence, peace, and joy into their parenting journey. And today I want to talk about this moment where we feel like our children don't talk to us, don't share the things with us, don't share their experience, or maybe share their day in details and how to go about it. So I have a few ideas that I wanted to share. The different things that I've learned from one of the books that I learned from is The Whole Brain Child, and it's different strategy that they use to get to have our children talk to us a little bit more. So I'm just going to share the things that I've been doing to see if it can work for you, and of course share with me the different strategy that you use to get to have your child talk a little bit more with you. And everything starts with building a relationship, but the thing is with this whole concept of building a relationship is to realize and being humble enough to understand that, do we actually know how to? Do we know how to build a relationship? Do we even know what that means? And do we have ways to go about it? And one of the things that we want to pay attention is the relationship we have with our adult friends, with our spouse, with our coworker. And is that something that we want to establish a better relationship, or is that something that we learn how to do the boundaries with who, with how, and where? All the things are things we learn either intentionally or non-intentionally. And when we are non-intentional, we can be in a relationship when we don't feel happy and we don't feel fulfilled. So first, I feel like it's always about knowing what we want. So when it's building a relationship, it's never, when I talk about building a relationship with our child, it's never about being their friend, like their same age level friends. So when I talk about building a relationship, it's to have this trust relationship that they can talk to us and we can talk to them, and we can share the different guidance that we as a parents want to share with them. But it's that trust environment. And of course I talk about trust in previous video, and trust is not just about I'm not going to be lying to you. It's definitely way more than that. So the first things that I want to mention is to make sure that we are not judging our kids when they talk to us, which can be very difficult. And because it can be difficult, one of the strategies that I use with my kids is, hey, if you're ready to share something that you know can go another route, can you just give me a heads up and be like, it's a one-on-one time, it's a no judgment time, it's I need to talk to you moment, so then I know how not to do anything, right? So sometimes you can build this heads up to make sure that you are not reacting in the wrong way when they're sharing something that is important for them in that moment. Because clearly, if they feel like it's a moment they need to share, but they felt a little bit of resistance at the beginning, it means that it was difficult to share. So we want to give that space that it's okay to do that. And I think most of the time what happened in a house where the child doesn't share the things with their parents, it's that first aspect of they can be yelled at, they can be grounded, they can be judged, they can be seen as, are you serious? What do you even think like that? And which is going back to the judgment. So or even the parents overreacting because they can't even conceive the fact that their child is speaking about a topic like that, for instance. So those things are things that later on are going to be where they are not going to be sharing with us. Also, the second aspect that I want to say is how building a relationship start early. I mean, it's never too late to do it, of course, and I'm here to definitely share that. It's never too late to build a relationship with our children. We can even do that in adult life. There is a whole process that we can go about doing that. But it's always start early. How was your conversation with you when they were sharing the little things? When they were sharing the little things that you feel were not that important, but it was a big deal for them. And how is your body language in that? Because sometimes you can also look busy, you can look distracted, you can look like it's not important. Okay, let's move on. So how was your whole body language? And there's this whole it's so important for them to have your full body looking at them in the eyes and say, really? Even if you know it. And I think I was listening to this about the concept of listening, which I know I talked about, saying that we will be talking a little bit more about it, the concept of listening. There is different response that we do when a child is coming to us and share something. And when we know the answer, there's few ways we go about it. So your child is so excited, he just learned something at school, he's coming to you, he said, did you know that Africa was a continent? And then there's few ways you can answer. You'll be like, of course I did. Like, who do you think? Like, come on, I've been at school like way before you went there. That's the first one to do it. So now think of how the kid is going to react to that answer. The second be like, oh, how interesting. Tell me more about it. That's another level that can maybe trigger a little bit more conversation. The third one that I personally love is like, oh, really? Tell me more about it. I want to know more about it. And even if they know that you know, most of the time they do, but it's so still exciting for them to be like, oh, yes, okay, so this is what I learned. Africa is a continent, and this is like this, and this is these different countries, and then this and this, and we learn that, and next year we're going to learn about Asia, and next year we're going to be learning about this. And then they go on, just because I say, really? With all my face and my excitement. And these things, even though when they're growing up, they're like, okay, mama, you don't need to get all that. But they're still feeling happy about it. It's still feeling good about this whole interaction, right? And of course, I'm saying that because, like I said, we are starting early. The whole really is going to be different when they're 18, and it's not going to be the same dynamic. So you do that in a different way. When they're 18 is like, I knew about it and tell me more about it, right? Or did you know about it? Depending on how is the information, but they love teaching us things. They love sharing those things with us. And this interaction is the basis of, am I going to talk more with Papa and Maman? I said that in French, by the way, Papa and Maman. Or is that not necessarily because they never react anyway, or they really don't say anything when I share things, or they're just like, So depending on how we interact, it's going to help us go about them telling more and sharing more, and then getting excited about sharing more. So the other aspect is also in the evening. So for me, the evening is it's a precious time where you can get a lot of information from them, but you also need to be available. You need to be emotionally available. You need to be emotionally present, because it's a moment where it's the end of the day, everybody is tired, you're almost putting them to sleep. It's time for you to have your me time, whatever you call it, your self-care time, your moment where it's the time that you can have a moment with your spouse, have a moment to do something together, and then the kids are now in bed and you can like watch something, drink a tea together, anything. But then there's this moment where they kind of like want to drag that moment with you, like, mama, I need more water, I need more of this, and then more of that. Of course, this whole moment, you create this whole the routine that you have with them to know when is the time to actually cut it off. But it's also a time where they chit chat a lot. They share a little bit more, because now they kind of have you in their bedroom and they want to share a little bit more. So when I learned to this whole dynamic, I learned to just include that in the routine of laying down with them and just like saying things that are very simple conversation, sharing my day, sharing the different things during my day that I enjoy. And because I'm all about this whole attitude of gratitude, I'm talking about, I am so grateful I get to, I get to do this, I get to do that. I will talk about things like that, and this interaction will allow them to also share. And for me, the evening, this is the moment where I have more of their what's going on in their head, what they're feeling, what they're frustrated about, what they want to become, and things like that. So taking the time in that moment of not using it as a moment where you rushing them to go to bed and be like so focusing on actually maybe even adding stress to it because they don't do the things you want to do, and then rushing them to, Ole, come on, go to do your routine, you know what you need to do, and then not being with them in that process. Being with them is going to also build this relationship that later they want to call you and they want to share things with you. So those are the things that I personally be doing since my kids were little. Like I'm with them throughout. I try to build my day around the things that can be beneficial for both of us, because the whole goal is I want to be in a position where I have this relationship so I can continue to do the guidance, so I can continue to bring my parenting, me being a parent with them, what is my role and responsibility toward them at any age. And for that, it's important for me to be emotionally intelligent enough to know what I need to do when I need to do it. And we do that with our adult friends. We do that when sometimes it's the time to talk and it's the time to just listen, or it's the time to give a little advice, or sometimes it's just time to say nothing. So we do have those skills that we develop, but we rarely use them with our children, and we just assume that we just saying it at this moment because they're a child and this is what they need to listen because I'm the parents. But if you don't pay attention, if today was a bad day for them, because it's completely possible. And I want us to remind ourselves that we are parenting our child in a society that we actually never lived in. We were never in that situation that our kids are going through. Social media or even the smartphone is completely new to us and them. Our kids went through COVID, which was completely different of how we grew up. And now we have the different political situation happening in the world. There is also another difficulty, another challenge. All those things are completely different. So for us, we need to learn how to navigate all of that so we can help them in the process. But throughout that learning, we're modeling how to do that when we don't know, which goes back to the humility aspect of realizing that we don't know and we're learning, and we don't necessarily what to do, but we want to know what to do, and we're doing it together to do it together. So I feel like sometimes we want to transfer the things that we learn from how we grew up to automatically to our kids, but we need to take into consideration that it is completely different in so many levels. And so this is the learning, this is the different things that I wanted to share today, and just making sure that our children are talking with us so we can help them, or we can even learn from them, because them sharing what they're going through, because it's new to us, this is also an opportunity for us to grow throughout this whole process and challenges. So we need them to talk to us. We need them to communicate and learn how we can navigate ourselves and with them. And my kids have a different ages. So if my oldest child can help us help the youngest one, it's also this communication that we need. The whole family needs to help each other in growing in this different society that our children are living, that is completely different from how we grew up. And I can say that for any of us here, like all of us, there is nobody that has gone through the whole this whole changes in the society as our children went through. So I want us to really be in that growth mindset of learning learning to be the parents that need, learning to grow toward this whole society that we are living in. So this is pretty much what I want to share today. So hey, hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed this video, share it. If you have any comment toward what I just said, anything that you either agree or disagree, it's fine. Please comment and share. We can have this conversation, because whatever you're commenting there, I can also interact and maybe respond. If there is anything that was not very clear that maybe you need me to elaborate, which actually another video I will go a little bit deeper into the humility, because this is a very important aspect that I feel it's so important to integrate into our parenting, to see if we can grow to be better parents for our children. So that's going to be another topic. But if there is anything that you want me to talk about, please share, put it on the comment. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. The subscribe button is going to help us spread the message and make this channel grow, which is really what we want here. And thank you so much for being here every week, and I will see you next time. Au revoir.